A lot of people call us Hazane, the people that emerge.
It relates back to the original emergence story, our creation story, on how we came to be. At one time, there was nothing.
Since the beginning of time, I could tell you that we lived under in the dark.
We came from the underworld.
There's a lot of stories of that, of how we came from the underworld.
At the beginning, Black Sky and Earth Woman bore supernaturals who dwelt within the body of the mother, which is the earth. The supreme deity created first ancestral man, and they emerged from underground.
People lived underground because it was dark all the time. There was just a little bit of light. And then there was a super being, and the grandmother told him, okay, I'm gonna put you in my bag, and we're gonna climb up. And it was very steep.
Some of them say that they made a ladder to come up with a buffalo horn. That's why the buffalo's horn is curved. Some say they use a sun ray. We use a sun source. It was like a torch. You could see.
And as they were coming up, they lost their light. So prayers were then made, and they were given some eagle plumes for light, and then they followed from the underworld.
She gave him instructions. We can't talk, they will hear us. But there are beings up there that have light, and they're singing, and what you do is you grab some of the light and you run around the earth. And then they had night and day.
The Great Spirit asked them, where do you want to live? And they said, near the center of the earth.
Over there by towers. He said, that's where we came from.
All of the people came out from the underworld. The people prayed.
They discovered there were monsters on this land.
Great monsters that lived above. Nowadays we call them the dinosaurs. The insects were huge, the plants were huge, everything was huge.
The various deities were told by the supreme deity to make the animals small, to make the earth safe for human habitation.
The monster slayer was summoned to kill the giant elk, but it was not easy. A lizard came along and suggested to monster slayer that he clothe himself in his garment of the lizard to disguise himself when he approached the elk. There came a gopher who offered to help by digging a tunnel underneath the sleeping elk. The gopher dug under the elk, pulled out the hair from under the elk's arm. The monster slayer then had an easy shot with his bow and arrow. He shot the elk through the heart. The elk trenched the ground in the forward direction until it died. The elk was told it will no longer be huge and it can no longer hurt people, but it will be their source of food.
When the Jicarillas came to this earth, there was nothing but water. Prayers were then made, and pretty soon the deities, they dried up the earth, and so that the humans could be on this earth. Other rivers and lakes and streams also appeared. There were piles of earth, and they grew into mountains. These ranges are part of those mountains that were created. The supernaturals gave the Jicarillas elaborate laws, customs, and ceremonies that were forever to be observed. The Jicarillas were told to honor and respect all their lands, protect all the wildlife, use all their natural resources in a respectful manner, and to protect their environment.
And when we pray, you say, thank you for everything that to sustain life.